Hello everyone, I'm Todd Black, and I hope you are viewing this on the Poison Ivy League Facebook page, but if you're viewing this on Twitter or on YouTube, I welcome you as well. Uh, as you see on hopefully the title above, I am here right now to pitch you my idea for what a Poison Ivy solo series would be, should be, in my mind. This came about because a friend of mine just frankly just inspired me to think what would my if I could write Poison Ivy in a solo series of her very own, no strings attached, what would it be? And I honestly came up with an idea pretty quickly, and so I'm here to share that with you. And maybe spread it around, and maybe if DC hears about this, they'll say, hey, maybe let's give this guy a shot. There's clearly a fan base for it. So here we go. Uh, Much like many in the Poison Ivy League, which is the group that wants us, the group of us that want a Poison Ivy solo series. Uh, I want this to be a hero story because I think Poison Ivy definitely has the potential to be a hero, even if kind of a roundabout one. But also, I'm not gonna. It's important to note that I don't deny what's been happening with her in the DC universe in the comics. Yes, she's been heroic at times. She was with the Birds of Prey at the New 52, but she's also done some bad things, like in Batman Eternal, certain Batman comics, and other issues as well. And yes, she's going to be in the Justice League United, but we don't know to what extent, or if she's just doing this out of her own self-interest. So I am going this based on what I know of what Ivy has been in the comics as of late. So for me, that's a redemption story, and for me, it all has to start off somewhere because in my mind, she can't just say, "Oh, I want to be a hero," because that comes off as contrived and not fair to the character. I feel that much like we have to inspire people to say, "Hey, this Poison Ivy series could work." I think Ivy should be inspired and say, "Maybe I should try and be a hero-like figure." So, for my mind, here's how it would work. It would all start off with an issue, the first issue, obviously. Yeah. I'm excited. That's why I'm trying to piece together what I'm going to say to explain this to you in great depth. That's why I'm stuttering a little. Because usually I'm not like this at all. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and just tell my story. So it all started off with Ivy confronting, that's a nice Ivy way of saying it, a business that is very harmful to the environment. Yes, much like what a lot of fans want, I do have her main conflict being about the environment, which is what Poison Ivy is about. So she's just, ransacking the place, taking out anyone she can. And then she happens across this kid uh, in one of their computer rooms in their server room. So he's hacking into the server, and he's incredibly surprised to see Ivy there. And when she tries to dispatch him, yeah, he stops her and says, do you really think this is going to help? Help what? She asks. It's like, help the environment. What's this going to do? He's basically challenging her right there on the spot. And as they get into the conversation, he starts calling her out on what she's done recently. Working with villains, killing anyone who isn't with her plan of saving the environment, and on and on. And he says, there's a better way. You don't even know half of the dangers to the environment that are out there. And you're supposed to be connected to all this stuff. Naturally, Ivy isn't too pleased with this, but she hears him out. And he goes on and says, I know who you are. I know who you are at your core. You're about protecting the environment, and we respect that. There's actually a bunch of us who were inspired by you who do many things to protect the environment, but we don't go around killing people because that just brings bad tension to us. If you really want to help the environment, you need to do it in a different way. You need to do it in a way that both takes out the people who are hurting it, but does it in a way that they'll never do it again and won't inspire other people to try and challenge you or try and take you out. Because the moment you fall, a lot of us lose our inspiration. I think this would be intriguing to Ivy because I would think that Ivy doesn't see herself as an inspiration. She's very much a one-woman army, very strong, very capable, very intelligent, and the idea of a group of people, following her lead and trying to protect the environment, I think would be oddly appealing to her, especially given recent events. And so I think she would go along with it. and she would go with this kid, and he would reveal that the stuff he's stealing on the servers, remember he was hacking into the computer, is actually information on a bunch of corporations and villainous men who are actually trying to destroy the environment for their own gains. And thus, so it began a simple arc at first to make Ivy a hero, and then as we go on, I'll get to that in a minute. They're probably thinking right now, wait a minute, why would this guy, let's say he's, oh, I don't know, mid-20s, got glasses, maybe a fro or anything, I don't know. Let's just be random in this, shall we? Why should he be Ivy's companion? Why can't she be on her own? And it's frankly because even though she would be compelling on her own, I don't think, again, going back to the original premise, should she be on her own? You know, alone she would fall back into old habits. She's done it before, and you know that's why the birds of prey were important to her. But then when she left, she kind of fell back on old habits, both in writing and in character. So with this kid, let's call him Ray. It's honestly not my name for the character, but let's just call him Ray. That's a standard name I use. So she teams up with Ray. He's going to be her conscience, her Jiminy Cricket, if you will. And most importantly of all, he's not a love interest. He's there to save Ivy, if you will. At the very most, he would want just to be her friend, which I think is an odd thing in comics. Why can't a man and a woman be a friend? And so that would be important right off the bat. But he's also got some tricks up his sleeve. Not only is he an expert hacker and he has some physical ability, he has two things that's going to push him to really help Poison Ivy. And one of them is actually kind of a defense mechanism should she ever try and use her poisonous ways on him. But I'll get to that in a second. The first is that to tie this into DC Universe, what's happening recently, I'm going to have it to where he actually has footage somehow of the Convergence, the event that's taking place in DC right now. And more specifically, he has found footage of a couple Earth's Poison Ivies actually helping, save the city. Okay? Like if you notice in some of the tie-in comics, she actually helped grow the crops, she helped feed the cities, and she became maybe not a hero, but a caretaker at the very, very least to these people. And even Batman respected that. I mean, Batman actually fought for her when the Penguin tried to take over her operation. And even Ivy was shocked by how low Penguin was going in doing this. And Batman promised to protect her for as long as she was willing to help. And she happily said, I will. And so he's going to have this footage, and though he knows that's not his Ivy, or the Ivy he's not working with, he sees the potential in her to be that hero, and he's going to push really hard because he knows if this Ivy from those worlds could, care for the environment and care for the people, why can't this Ivy? He's not going to force it on her. He's not going to try and change her. That would be detrimental in numerous reasons and a bad message. You have to change or else. No, that's not it. But he's going to at least try to see if he can dredge out this hero in her that he thinks she can be. The fun part that I think will be is that he can't die via poison or toxin or chemical. Yeah, he has a kind of a healing factor. It's not like Wolverine or Deadpool or anything, or even Superman where he just has to be in the sun or anything. He has what I like to define as a status quo healing factor. What I mean was like this: imagine your body in a perfect state of health. Okay, body's working at 100% maximum, no pain, no sickness, and imagine if your body could take a snapshot of that. Okay. And anytime something happens to you, especially internally, you get sick, you get poison, you get an infection, your body goes into overdrive to go back to that status quo element. Okay, follow? So essentially, he will never be sick. He can never get infected. He is a perfectly healthy specimen. He can die. He can absolutely die. He can get hurt. It's just that he can't get hurt from the inside, if that makes sense. So imagine this. Imagine I cut my arm right here. And imagine I cut my arm. The wound will still be there. And it'll take a while to heal. but I will not get infected by that wound. Anything that happens internally because of it will not be because of the wound. It will still be there. It'll take a while to heal, but I won't get infected. I won't get sick because of it. I won't be weakened because of it. There you go. And he doesn't tell us to Ivy at first because it's his ace in the hole should she ever turn. And I'll have it that one way or another she does turn and does give her him the kiss of death, which she will feel bad afterwards. I'm going to admit. But he'll take it for all of 30 seconds or a page or two in comics, I suppose, and then he'll pop right up and go, "You done? Can we go back to work now?" I just can't wait to see the look on her face when that happens. But that'll be a very interesting dynamic because now she can't kill him via her more ingenious ways, for lack of a better term. She can still rip him in half with the vines, I suppose, or just kill him by putting it through him. But one of her trademark moves is now out, and so that'll put an interesting dynamic on him because he knows when this happens. He knows, okay, maybe she's gonna be a little bit harder to deal with than I thought. And she's going to think, okay, if I am going to kill this kid, it's going to have to be in a much different way. So it's going to put them in kind of a standoffish position. I say that would happen maybe arc 2 or 3, so 6 or 7 issues in. But this relationship that they have, it's going to be interesting because he wants to help Ivy. He wants to show her that she can be something different than what she was told. She doesn't just have to be the villain. She doesn't have to be an anti-hero. She can be a straight-up hero who protects the environment while all the other heroes are, just saving the world in their, generic, oh, I have to be a supervillain kind of way. And as this goes on, you're like, well, this is okay, I get it, that's fine, but, saving the environment only happens so many times. I mean, where does this keep going? Well, that's the thing. He has help. Ray has help through what I'm going to call the Ivy Net, which is actually my representation of the Poison Ivy League, so that's for you guys. And they literally scour the internet and the newspapers and any news station that will report it, and they document every single unnatural occurrence that is hurting the environment. And they'll report it on the IvyNet, and that's what Ray gives his information and will help eventually guide Ivy. But also, this group is incredibly family-like, not unlike what the Poison Ivy League, I would like to think, will be or is. And they help each other to get the job done. So once Ray reveals to them, hey, I'm kind of with Ivy right now, we're going to save the world, you guys ready to help full scale? They're going to be not just pitching them places where to go, but helping them get to other places. Because obviously Ivy doesn't have a passport, and so they're going to give her one so that she can travel throughout the world without tripping significant radars, because that would be bad. And some of these things aren't just going to be, businessman, killing the trees to make a profit. Some of it's going to be unnatural. Some of it's going to be supernatural. And this actually opens the door to a bunch of DC characters coming in. And not to tie it into too many comics, but I totally see an arc where Harley finds out what Ivy's doing, and she wants to be her BFF and good BFF and want to go help Ivy, and that'll create some fun dialogue with Ray, that I assure you. I totally see her going to Selena, especially if she stays in their role as a crime boss. That's going to be fun. Do you know any crime bosses, Ivy, that could help us? I know one. Never know. And then as really this starts going, and if we really keep going with this, I truly see her interacting with more and more heroes, and them not knowing what to make of Ivy. Now, the obvious one is Swamp Thing, which she has interacted with before and is about to interact with again in JLU. But, what happens if some of the other heroes take notice of this? What happens if Wonder Woman takes notice of this? Or, Batman? Yeah, because, you're sure that it's going to end up in Gotham sometime. I'll make it deep in the arc, deep in the series, maybe 15 issues or something. But eventually, Batman's going to find out. And he's going to wonder, is she for real? Is she really doing it? Because as a fan of the Poison Ivy League actually noted, she's done a lot of harm. She's done evil, both New 52 continuity and beyond, which is still technically canon. And so there should be people who don't trust Ivy even after the work she's done. And that's compelling because it not only creates situations, but it makes Ivy wonder, is this really going to work out? Can I truly be the hero even with all me doing all this stuff, and the heroes are not trusting me? That, for me as a writer, that's compelling, because when a character questions whether what they're doing is meaningful in any way, that leads to some fun situations. And Ray is going to be there for her, saying, I know that Batman said, I'm always going to be watching you. You screw up, I'm going to take you down. That's just motivation for you not to screw up. If Batman doesn't think you do anything wrong, then he won't hurt you. Neither will the other heroes. Yes, you've done wrong, but you can do right now. So why don't you? We have the time, we have the way, we have the means, we have the information. Let's go save the world in a way that none of them will do. As much, I always remember this line that in Blackest Night, Jeff Johns noted that Wonder Woman is the one person who loves the world the most. That always resounded with me. And while that's totally true, she's not going to go and save the trees every single day. She'll acknowledge it when it happens, and she'll try to save the environment, but she'll never be that kind of a hero. Neither will Batman, neither will Superman, neither will Green Lantern, or Flash, or Cyborg, or any of the other, Shazam. It's my hero right there. But Ivy can be the hero, and that just fills a gap, which the whole DCU promotion is going. Diversity in comics, and different kinds of comics and different kinds of fields. This is something entirely different, because Ivy isn't going up against a group of supervillains per se. We're about to get to that, though. She's going against people who are just destroying the environment, or forces that are destroying the environment, and she needs to stop it to save the planet, because the planet is kind of what we live on, people, right? Right? So that's important. Now, obviously, if this is going to be a hero comic, there needs to be a counter villain, and I thought of an idea of one called Toxin. And I looked it up. There is no character named Toxin in the DC universe. There's one in the Marvel universe, but not in the DC universe. So I say it's going to be Toxin. I do see it as a female villain, just to really have like a symmetry kind of thing going. And Toxin's ability, if you will, is that she lives through the death of plants. And that sounds kind of weird, but let me explain. How it'll work is, the more the environment is dying, it actually emits a chemical, in essence, if you will, that she harnesses, and it allows her to not only heal, it allows her to live a very long time. So in some ways, this could be like a very supernatural threat to the earth, and not just an evil businessman like a Lex Luthor type saying, "Oh, I just want to destroy the world." This lends a little more credence, because she can't die just by stabbing her through the heart, because she's connected to the literal death of the world. Not unlike how Swamp Thing can make different bodies of himself just through certain materials, or Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. As long as there's a chip of his wood, that sounded so wrong, he can regenerate. Toxin's going to be the same way, as Ivy is unfortunately going to find out. And so, while Toxin is going around trying to kill the planet, Ivy's here trying to save the planet, and it's going to create some fun battles that'll have some action, so it'll please the purists, if you will, who want action in a comic book. So let's see. Ooh, 19 minutes. Wow, that took a while. I'm sorry if I'm boring you. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm enlightening you and giving you ideas, because that's the thing here. It's like, you may be asking, well, why am I pitching my idea to you right now? It's because I care. It's because I care what you think. Because especially for you in the Poison Ivy League, I want to write this for you, because you're the reason this series came to be. My friends inspired me to think of a Poison Ivy idea, and now I have it, and I really like it, and I honestly do write comics. This is my series Guardians. I have 8 issues out. That's not here nor there. I'm just saying. And I want to break into DC or Marvel. And if DC, and they always say, oh, you should never say you want to write Batman, because you're never going to get them right off the bat. And I fully accept that. So why not give me a Poison Ivy series, even if it's just a mini series to kick this whole thing off, and then see where the sales go, and then we can jump off and say, okay, full on series. Let's do it. That would be great for a young writer like me. And I have this idea, I have the supporting characters, so you have the premise, Ivy trying to save the world and redeem herself in a way that would please a lot of people, not just in the comics world, but in our world, Poison Ivy League, yeah. And that's compelling to me as a writer because I like character stories. I mean, I accept that I have to write action, and I'll admit I'm good at writing action. I've done plenty of stories about that, and just going through that and thinking about all the things that Ivy will be going through and that Ray will be going through to try and help Ivy be a hero. Like Ivy will find out about the convergence footage, going back to one of my original thoughts, and she's gonna, get angry with Ray. Are you trying to change me? Are you trying to make me that Ivy instead of me? And he's gonna say, no, that's not what I do. I know from them you can be a hero because it's happened before. It's happened in those worlds. I'm just trying to see if it can happen here. If you kill me, that's on you. You're going to be the villain then, not the hero that we know you can be, and you're going to lose a lot of your following and a lot of people who know you can be what you have the potential to be. And that's what a lot of us in the Poison Ivy League are here about, is that we keep seeing her in these goofy sidekick roles. No offense, Harley Quinn, not at all. And we just see these roles that were like, okay, yeah, that's Ivy to an extent. Yes, I get it. They're Harley and Ivy are BFFs, if not more. And that's great, but Ivy needs something of her own to hold on to. Yet Harley Quinn has her own comic. Catwoman has her own comic, and Ivy is just there. I mean, they were a part of the Gotham City Sirens, which is one of my favorite books back in the older universe. And of those three, only Ivy doesn't have a comic, and that's what I would love to change that. And this is everyone's talking about messages and creating an impact. Well, I'm just showing, for me, my message is either this, is that you can get a second chance and use it to the best of your abilities. You can find friends in the most unlikeliest of places, which is what Ray is going to be for Ivy. You can be a hero after being a villain, and you can do it while being strong, while being intelligent, while being awesome, and while creating a difference. I mean, isn't that what this is all about? So as I sign off, 23 minutes. Wow. Oof. As I sign off here, I hope you have watched this whole thing. I hope you will let me know what you think of my idea, because again, if I can refine it, revise it, build it off of you, I will. That's part of being a writer, is hearing ideas and growing. I grew my idea from yesterday just by talking to one fan, and I was like, okay, that was what inspired the Batman idea, because I didn't even think about bringing Batman into it, which is incredibly ironic. I know. I mean, Batman. Hang out. But there it is. And so, what else can I grow? What else can this grow into? What else can you inspire me to write this as? That's up to you. Tell me your ideas. Tell me what you think can work. Tell me what you think can't work. If you need me to explain some more, I will do that for you. I'll probably do it in text. I don't want to do a video unless you absolutely want me to. I understand if you do. But, let me know what you think, because this is for you as much as it is for me. Because if it's fans that, like you, who have watched this 24-minute video, that have inspired me to get this far with my idea. So as I sign off, I thank you, Poison Ivy fans, Poison Ivy League, or just people watching in general. Thank you. Have a good day. Let me know what you think.